This is Brian, and welcome back to this commentary playthrough of Secret of Mana for the SNES. So we made it through the Mana Fortress here, and we've faced a couple of bosses and a lot of enemies. As I said at the end of the last part, I think we're over halfway done. But we'll see if we can finish it off today, or if it's going to take another time. Always kind of annoying when you get your frosted or engulfed in flames or whatever those statuses that just make you stop for a while. Yeah, and I haven't gotten any good drops really through here, but they are fairly rare, so on just one trip through here, I'm not too surprised that we haven't picked up anything better. I'd rather finish this guy before I deal with that Master Ninja up here. Because even with the equipment I have, I think these guys can deal pretty good damage if they hit you. Yeah, they do use Lucid Barrier right away. Shapeshifters. So far I've been doing pretty well against the Master Ninjas. Oh yeah, and he's got Stone Saber, so I think that can petrify you if he hits you with it. I think we're closing in on the ending here, actually. Based on the floor layout here. There we go. Whacked him. Gonna say I don't care about beating the sword, but my computer characters want to get stuck. Yeah, so you can actually hit these guys with physical, but you gotta get into him before he uses that Lucid Barrier. Not hitting him for a lot, though. But enough to get him. Yeah, you got the guy in the middle there. Which is kind of annoying, because if you do kill him with magic, or if you can get a ranged weapon to hit him, it's kind of sucks if he drops a treasure there then. There's no way I could get to it. There we go. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of the Master Ninjas here. So yeah, this could be a dangerous place. See that? 140 damage. Just like that. Knocked Randy out. Should have used, got Prim up first because then I could have used her magic to revive Randy. God damn it. Come on. Get up, get up. Damn it. Well, I did get a drop there. Oh my god. And I should have healed Randy up too. Alright. Well, guess you see what I meant about those guys. Can't say that they usually give me that much trouble or that they should have, but it is what it is. But that is the best armor for Prim and Popoy, I believe. So we go from 243 up to 250. So, I mean, it's not a huge increase, but there's a little bit. I think over here we have more of those Terminator guys. Yeah, there's a group of 3 of them. But I have an easier way to take care of them. See, with 3 of them, if I get a drop from them too, maybe. Oh, no such luck there. Alright, I think that tile in the middle actually warps me to almost the end. I think there's a boss gauntlet yet. Wanted to attack them instead of getting the treasure. I did get another level though. And if I finish these guys and get the levels for my other characters, at least that fills our HP up. Yeah, let's just go forward. I'm fine with that. And if you recognize this, this is the area where we fought the last form of Gefstar on his motorbike, or whatever that thing was, hover bike. There's Thanatos and Diluc. Diluc! For ages I have been searching for a human with the power to conquer this world. One born in the shadow of darkness and raised in the light of mana. Diluc is the one. Not wait any longer. Body has grown weak. It's time. Using his body, I will take the Mana Fortress and rule the world. Diluc, resist him with all your might. Ack, must hurry. This body is breaking up. Help me. Let me. So does that mean he's gone? Diluc, snap out of it. Where am I? How good this new body feels. I grow strong. Liar, you can't just steal someone's body. My dear, I can do anything I want. Can't move. Prim, can you hear me? It's me, Diluc. He's too strong. I'm finished. But I can help you. Thanatos is an ancient sorcerer who sold his heart to the underworld. Though his life force is eternal, he hasn't his own body. His life force is growing darker. He feeds on hatred and destruction. Ooh, silence! I'm so sorry I won't see you again, but I have to do this. You're Randy, right? Take care of Prim. Diluc, stop it. Please, Diluc, stop it. Urgh. And here is some I think this is some very cool music to go with this boss battle. You'll see what I mean. I forbid this. Just when I was to be reborn, I must withdraw. Give me your bodies. Ooh-ha! And here you have him, Thanatos. Or did they call him something else? Dark Lich. And yeah, Lumina works very well. So I don't know, this might not be your kind of music, but when I first played this game, I thought this was some of the coolest music I'd ever heard in a game. I think you just kind of wait. Can we hit his hands? I don't remember exactly. Gotta wait for his head to pop back up, I think. There he is. The balloon Prim. I don't really want to be stuck down here in between the hands like this. Let's get out of there. Yeah, he's got quite a bit of HP. But he's not really doing too much as long as we're just using magic against him here. But there, I'm out of MP. But yeah, that's why I didn't want to use too much of Prim's magic, because Lucid Beam does cost quite a bit each time you cast it, because it is 8 MP. And I mean, some of Papoy's magic might hurt him a little bit, but it wouldn't be as much. I guess I should try it and see. Certainly not going to be Shade, I don't think. Fire usually hurts undead, right? Gone invisible. But our magic can still get him. There we go. And that'll be the end of the music, too. Yeah, we certainly should be able to finish the game today. Then I'll give a short review. Seal on Dryad's mana magic is gone. So yeah, just for the very end, you get all of his magic available. Ooh. Dialogue. Yeah, I guess he sacrificed himself to help save us. Prim. I don't know if we get to control anything or if it just goes automatically here. What the? Let's get out of here. What is it? I'm okay. Just dizzy. We have to get out of here now. Alright, so I do get to control again. And yeah, what you have now is you have mana magic. Which basically what that does is I told you there was no way to get a level 9 sword orb without using a hack or a code. But what this does is if you have both Prim and Popoi use mana magic, it will basically give him a level 9 sword. And you're supposed to use that to help you finish the final battle. So it looks like, yeah, we got full HP going, but we don't have full health. I mean, full MP. I think I'll hold off on using a seed, though. Or a berry walnut. And yeah, it looks like nowhere else to go up here, so we gotta head down and try to leave. But it takes us outside here. It's a mana beast. Isn't it a flamey? I guess flamies were once mana beasts. Hurry, or the mana beast will ruin the world. Come on, do it. I can't. I won't hurt a mana beast. I can't. They're only trying to restore mana. And... Popoi, if you use up all your mana power, you'll disappear. Oh no. Right. I can't go through with this. What do you mean? I'm not gonna kick the bucket. My world is separate from this one. It just means I won't see you again. Okay, if we don't stop the mana beast, your world is finished, right? Everything will perish. Trees, animals, people. That must not happen. You have the mana sword. You must save this world. You have no choice. You made a vow to your mother, the mana tree, right? I'll be okay. Alright. You sure? Of course. Later, Prim. Alright. Take the sword. We'll cast mana magic, then mana sword will appear. Alright, so I guess now's the time. And there's the beast. Which is a big flamey, I guess. Revive the mana sword. And actually, like, go in the menu and look at that. Or what's it say here? Yeah, so Dragon Buster, but it says we're at 210 for attack right now. Yeah, so it doesn't say that it's a different sword, but yeah, it has 210 for attack, so we know that we got that. So when he flies out here, he's going to do an animation where he starts like turning into a burning ring and flying towards us. Once he does that, a good way to protect ourselves, I've found, is that if we go into the magic menu and either use Lucid Barrier or Dryad's Wall on all of our characters, the animation will last long enough that it'll protect us from the attack here. Now, I don't know if that's how we're supposed to do that, but it's always worked for me. So this time he just flies towards us. I think it might do a little damage, but it's not too bad. And I'm charging up my sword because once he flies up like this is when we're going to want to hit him. Another way you can avoid that attack is probably using barrels. And yeah, I'm using the sword because he does cast wall right away, so you're not going to hit him with magic. When he hits Randy with that, it slows down my gauge. I think you get enough time in here, basically, so you can hit him twice with a level 8 sword charge. Yeah, and then he'll leave and head out again. And then he'll do the whole, repeat the cycle, where he does the burning ring, and then they're just flying straight towards us. And the mana magic does also wear off eventually, so you're probably going to have to recast that at some point in the battle here too. I guess that if you wanted to avoid this one... Okay, so yeah, mana magic's off now. You can see the sword looks different too. Yeah, now it's like greenish. I didn't get to charge it as long from the beginning, so I don't know if I'll get 2 shots off on him or not. If not, once he starts to leave, I'll let it go wherever it's charged at. I think it'll still hit him. Yeah, there we go. Still got 500. Yeah, I don't think I need to heal. I was kind of debating whether or not I wanted to use that, but should be okay. I guess I could use that again here to avoid this attack, but I don't really feel like this one's bothering me too much as far as hurting me. He comes down from the top this time. I think that's slightly different, because I think he's been coming up from the bottom the other 2 times. I don't know if it said he only uses Lucent Beam on Randy, or if that's just been my luck so far. Well, there you used it on somebody else. It answers that quickly. You can also set your attack for your other characters to... It's just saying, you could also have your other characters attack. I think they can still do some damage. Although I don't know. It looks like when I'm trying to hit him with a regular sword here, it's not doing anything. So... Come on, get a hit off. Oh. Okay, I can use that 2 more times before we need to use a fairy walnut. Maybe that'll take us to about the end. I don't want to go too soon so that it misses him. Yeah. Not exactly sure how big his hitbox is for that. Come on. So yeah, as long as you're using these kind of tactics, it's certainly not terribly difficult. You just got to put the time in to finish him off. I don't think he does anything different. He doesn't change tactics at a certain point or anything. And yeah, now we need to reapply the mana magic also. But that only takes 1 MP, so not too bad at all. On. I am slightly curious of one thing though here. Wonder if I've been making a mistake. Because it kind of seems like I'm doing the same amount of damage to him, or at least pretty close to it, regardless of how long I've been charging up my sword level there. Maybe it doesn't really matter. I need to try to just do some regular hits on him and see how it does. So if that's the case, and I probably did know that at some point, but that'll speed things up quite a bit if that works that way. Oh, yeah. I probably would have been done by now. And I'm sure there were probably some of you watching out there who were... Oh, man. I was contemplating healing before, but... Dead or not? Come on. I'm gonna wait to cast the mana magic until after we use Lucid Barrier here. So he has the sword longer. Yeah, that actually helped him avoid the attack, too. Okay, there we go. And yeah, I did make it take a little longer than it should have even, but it's fine. And for some reason, he turns two-dimensional after that. Oh boy! He's gone. I didn't even say goodbye. But boy! But boy, I'll never forget you. Well, they weren't married, according to Gnome. Ever. Me too. And Diluc too. But we must be strong. Mana Beast is turning into snow. And credits start rolling. I think. Yep. Go. It looks like we saved the world. I don't say surely what would have happened to the fortress or anything like that. It's the Empire South town? Yeah, there's the Resistance and Mara. Gemma's at the Republic. Scorpion Army. The boss, who I'd never really paid too much attention, but I think it looks like it's supposed to be a woman. Sage Jock there. Admiral Muria, I think. And Sergo the pirate on the same ship. What about Mori? Oh, there he is. Santa and Rudolph. They must like the snow, right? Looks like they get snow there more often, though. And King Truffle and the Mushroom People. Growing up, I always thought it was Mantango for some reason, but reading it here when I was going through this time, it's pretty clear it was Mutango. There was no N in there on the first part. Aline and her, I guess, bewitched chairs or whatever. Even though she's apparently just a regular old woman now and not a witch anymore. Is that all the canon travel guys? There were only that many? Feels like there were more. Pretty sure there were more than that. Bots going back to Gaia's navel finally? Looks like it. Yeah, Nico. The rip-off merchant. Well, I guess. You pay for the convenience, since he's usually in places that other merchants wouldn't be. There's Fana, and that must be Prim's dad. Even though I think they're different older guys that look just like that, so... could be easily confused. Translation, Ted Woolsey. That guy translated a lot of these older games. And the Water Palace in Sage Luca. Well, we're almost back to the beginning of the game. Is that what we're leading up to here? Are they gonna let him move back home? I don't know if I'd want to go back. These guys are kind of assholes to me. My best friends were a bully with buck teeth and a guy with a dunce hat, it looks like. I guess we're done with the sword, so we're putting it back. A little shinier now, though. Is that supposed to be the ghost of Popoi? The end. Alright, this is going to go a little longer than most normal episodes, but I am just going to give a short review here quickly. So, I mean, I've always had a fond place for this game. It's one of the first ones I grew up playing, and I think it still holds up as a good game overall, but I realize my thoughts on it could be clouded due to nostalgia slightly. So I'm just going to go over a few pros and a few cons on what I like and what I don't like about the game. First of all, I'm going to touch on the gameplay, because I think they did a pretty good job with that here. Everything flows pretty smoothly, and it's pretty intuitive and easy to pick up and play. You don't have to be a great gamer to do it, but yet there are some challenging ways you can play it, like if you want to go low level or like not use magic or stuff like that, so it can be a hard game if you want to go that way. But they balanced it pretty well, I would say. I really liked the menu system and the way they had that set up with the ring. It was really easy to get to, and you could press between X and Y for selecting your main character or your second and third characters. So it was really easy to bounce between them that way. If you weren't seeing which ring it came up around, sometimes it was kind of hard to tell which one you were opening the menu for. It got a little easier towards the end when, like, you had the different magic, because once you got Shade and Lumina, then, well, each character only had either one or the other, so you could tell from that. And like when you went into the weapon menus, of course they had their little head portrait next to the weapon they had equipped. But other than that, yeah, I really like the way they had the menu set up. They kind of did the same kind of thing in Secret of Evermore, but that was an American-made game, where this one was Japanese-made. So they kind of copied some of the stuff, but it wasn't from the same people, necessarily. I will play that one eventually. I don't think I'm going to do it, like, it's not going to be right away next year, but it's on my list. I'll get to it eventually. I still like that game, but it's not as good as this one. But yeah, we're talking about Secret of Mana now, not Secret of Evermore, aren't we? Another good thing, did like the magic system because it was pretty simple, but yet you still got quite a bit of mileage out of it. Because, I mean, we got 7 elementals per each character and 3 spells per elemental, so 21 spells times 2, so 42 spells. That's quite a few different spells. I guess I would say that the Prim's magic probably wasn't as useful overall, but that's partially just because of my playstyle, maybe. Like, a few of the elements you got a good range from. Like, we used Undyne a lot, and we used Sylphid a little bit for the Analyzer, and then, like, Lumina and Dryad were pretty useful, but, like, Salamando and Gnome, and Luna, too, I guess. Yeah, I really didn't get much use out of them for Prim, and I never really do when I play through it. But like I said, that could just be for my playstyle, too. There might be people that really enjoy using them, and using the sabers and all that type of stuff. The story was pretty simple. I liked it. You got some story with other characters, and I mean, it was an SNES game, so you can't expect it to have like 20 hours worth of cutscenes or whatever. So I think with that, they did a pretty good job at kind of drawing you in and making you, I don't know if I care necessarily about the characters, but you at least understood what they were going through, and bad guys were pretty bad guys. We got that across. I liked that overall too. The story was, I put it in the plus column. A quirky thing that I guess I would say I liked is the travel in the game. I don't think I've played another game where there was something maybe somewhat similar, but not exactly like the canon travel in this game, which doesn't seem very realistic, but it is an RPG fantasy game, so I mean, what do you expect? We don't have flying dragons in real life either, but that's a pretty common trope in a lot of games. But yeah, the canon travel for one, and then once you get Flamey, I mean, and that's a mostly later half. Yeah, I mean, it's about halfway through that you get Flamey, right? So I mean, you have open world travel at that point, so that's nice. Works pretty much like an airship in other games. Overall, I like the travel. I'll give that to them. Now to go over some things I don't like as much about the game, and not that it doesn't take away that much from it. I don't hate any of these things exactly, some of them just irritate me a little bit. I think the way that you get magic in the game and the way you can use it, it kind of breaks the game to a point where it's really easy to just spam it and beat some of the bosses. I know a way to get around that would be to just not use it. So I kind of torn on that, but I thought I would mention that because in my thoughts it does kind of make it a little bit too easy at points. And in the same line as that though, the early bosses that you had to fight before you got magic were kind of disproportionately hard then compared to some of the bosses later in the game. So that's like a lot of my least favorite bosses are the ones that you get early in the game, especially like that Spiked Tiger guy, because not only can you only use physical attacks against him, but he also goes out of range for most of your short-range weapons. You have to try to use long-range weapons, and the accuracy with those just isn't that good at that point in the game. So I always kind of, that's my least looked forward to part of the game when I go through it, going through Eleni's castle because of that. But like I said, it doesn't stop me from playing it, that's for certain. Another big thing, this is one of the bigger things, I really feel like they kind of rushed the last half of the game. Like by the time you get to the 4th palace, when you get Salamando, you've had to do quite a bit in between all of those dungeons, and the game's pretty well fleshed out. But then, towards the end, suddenly you get the Dark Palace of Darkness, the Gold Tower, and the Moon Palace. Just snap, 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 just like that. I feel like they could have added some the more side, or I don't know, like build up material in between those. Like for the first 4 palaces, you had stuff you had to do in between each of them, basically. You didn't just go from palace to palace exactly. And I think they had a big enough world they could have put more in there. So I don't know if it was because of time constraints or if it was just the limitations of the system and they couldn't add any more material because the game couldn't hold it. So I don't know, but that's my thought on that. Another thing that I mentioned several times throughout the game, so this isn't going to be a shock, but I didn't like it when the computer controls your other characters, because it is not very intuitive and they just piss me off sometimes. Like sometimes if a character dies, I'd almost rather leave them dead if I'm trying to get through a place, because they just get stuck on corners, they get stuck on enemies. Yeah. I don't know what necessarily they could have done to make that better in this type of game, but it did really get on my nerves several times, and it always does when I play through the game. So we'll put that up there as one of my most negatives, probably. The last thing I wanted to mention is that even though I like the story, and I did talk about how they do kind of make you understand what the characters are going through, some of the characters could have been a little more fleshed out, I feel like. Like, yeah, we met Dialog and we know that Prim's after him and that she's in love with him. But we don't really find out much about him or why Thanatos chose him, other than what Thanatos said. I think they could have done a little more of that, maybe. And some of the other characters, too, like we could learn more about Prim and Fana and Dialog's backstory growing up, because it sounded like they were all friends or something and had history there. Yeah, so it might have been like a side quest type of thing where you could have learned more about that. Just a thought. But yeah, anyway, I'd still probably, if you're going to rate the game on a scale of, 1 to 10 or something, it would be at least an 8 for me, probably. Maybe a 9. Certainly one of the best games on the NES, or the SNES, and that's saying something, because especially if you're an RPG lover, there are several great games on the SNES. I was thinking about which one I'm going to do next in this time slot, if I'm going to stick with SNES, or whether I'm going to move to something else older or slightly newer. Probably not going to go too much newer than like PS1 era. At least until I get caught up with a lot of the older games. I think what I'll probably do is I'll move on to Breath of Fire 1. That's another good old SNES game. And it'll be a little longer than this one, I think. I'm more familiar with Breath of Fire 2, but I've played through Breath of Fire 1, and I'll probably play both of those back to back. And maybe eventually move forward with the Breath of Fire 3 and 4 for PS1. But we'll probably stop at the SNES ones for quite a while and try to get more SNES and regular NES games in before I move on to PS1. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the playthrough, and if you have enjoyed the content so far, please like, comment, and subscribe or follow. We'll catch you next time.